Hey YouTube, how's it going? Well, I'll tell you what, pretty good the last few days here. It started to cool off a little bit, and then the cooler, moist air started coming in, and all of a sudden we started having scattered thunderstorms all around the area. 3 or 4 states around up into Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma, and so on and so forth. And some of it even came close to here, and then it kind of broke up and went around. And then the next day it was raining big time for a big chunk of the day, and it stopped a little bit for a nice window of opportunity in the morning so I could get out to the store and get myself the fixings I needed so that I could actually have coffee and so on. And then it picked up and started going again, and it rained through most of the day, all morning, a big chunk of the afternoon, and it was great. And then this morning it was absolutely awesome. 68 degrees this morning. It was fantastic. It made up for the fact that I couldn't hardly move when I woke up, and it took me 5 minutes to cross the room. Shit. Yeah, well, hey, what the heck. I wasn't in that big of a hurry anyway. Anyway, things are progressing. I know I seem to say that a lot, but it's true. They're progressing. They're moving from one state to another all the time. Usually from the state of normalcy to the state of confusion to the state of insanity, or something like that. Anyway, I do have an update on my big quest on EVE Online to become the super wealthy individual I'd like to be. Some good news and some bad news. Good news is I sold a bunch of ore that I had been mining for the last week or so. Made a cool 100 million on that. Not bad. And yet at the moment, well, it's about 470 million, excuse me. And I have sell orders on the market for about another 172 million. And that's all good. At least it sounds good, except for they're not selling very well. So I have either picked the wrong items, or I'm not right there every minute of the day babysitting the orders every time somebody underbids and fixing it up, you know. That's the one problem with the market, is you've got to be able to be right there and babysit those orders and maintain them and adjust them at least every couple hours or so. And I can't always be doing that. So that stuff is just kind of sitting there and not selling very well. But eventually, sooner or later, it will. Or I'll say the heck with it and cancel the orders and try something else. Anyway, we'll see. And so that's the game. That's most of the game right there. And if you figured that, well, anyway. And in the loss department, that mining I was doing, well, I won't be doing any more of it for a while. I do have other mining ships, but the one I was using was destroyed the other day because a group of people who seemed to, for some reason, feel duty-bound to destroy mining ships came along and got me. And I have elected not to spend 250 million to replace the ship and fittings, and another 150 million to replace all of the attribute enhancing implants that I had. Yeah. Well, what can I say? The Genolution Core CA1 markets for about 73 million these days. It wasn't that expensive when I bought it, but that was a while ago. And the Genolution Core CA2, that's 50 million. And the other 3 implants are averaging about 10 million apiece. Plus I had a few others that add things up a little bit more, but not going to worry about it. Not even going to care. As a matter of fact, at this point I've decided it's probably just as well because of what I'm planning to do next. See, I've spent all the time I've been on EVE Online, a little over a year and a couple of months or something like that, spent almost actually all of that time in what is known as Highsec, high security space. That is space with a security rating of 0.5 to 1.0, where it is supposedly patrolled by Concord, alleged police force. And by the way, if you're in any way, shape, or form new to EVE Online, Concord is not a police force. It is a revenge force. A police force attempts to prevent crime, and Concord doesn't. They show up after the fact and take revenge by destroying the attacker, which is all well and good, but it's not the same as you destroying the attacker, which obviously isn't going to happen because they just destroyed you. Anyway, that's that. Basically, in all that time, I spent all that time in Highsec. I had the idea when I got into EVE that I was going to get into this mining / industry / manufacturing / marketing kind of thing. And with that in mind, with that idea in mind, that's how I focused my training. And this is one of the reasons that I'm terrible in an actual combat PvP situation, because I don't have the skill training right for that. I screwed it up along the way very early on. What I should have done is to get basic core skills trained up. I'm only now getting that taken care of. And I should have focused on certain ship and weapon and combat skills and so on, and then later diversified into what I wanted to specialize in, after I'd had a chance to learn more and not be stumbling around in the dark. And perhaps that would have prevented some of the long breaks that I've taken, and periods of time in which I did nothing but log in every few days and adjust a skill queue. Anyway, so on, all that. And by the way, that sort of thing is the reason that I'm making the EVE Online Tips for New Players series, is because I made so bloody many mistakes from the very start out. And while there was a lot of helpful advice, a lot of very helpful people giving helpful advice, good helpful advice, there wasn't any kind of a core thing that says, you see this thing, it may look like a great idea, but don't do that. Wait, and do this first, and so on and so forth. Little things like that. And it's a lot of little things, really, that I think that if I can do this right, might actually make somebody else's new time in EVE a little easier. At least I hope so. Anyway, all of that said to say that I've decided that I'm going to change what I'm doing. Since it's not working, I'm not going to keep doing the same thing. There's something about a definition of insanity there. Anyway, I'm going to be, over the next few days, I'm going to set up some planetary interaction stuff. Thank you to the individual who gave that link in comments to the previous video. It was useful. And once that is set up and able to run automatically and be tended mostly by remote, with very occasional stop to actually pick up products that it develops, I'm going to be selling a whole bunch of stuff, buying a few other bunches of stuff, and then I'm going to move a whole bunch of ships and modules to a new location, and then I'm going to move Testicles Eldon out of Highsec. He's going to move down to Nullsec, down into Syndicate to be specific, where he's going to spend a undetermined amount of time learning PvP and fleet operations, and getting to be a little bit more well-rounded in the process, I hope. Anyway, that's what's going on, and I've probably taken 18 times longer to say it than I needed to, but that's the way I roll. I take my time, I speak what I'm saying, and I ramble and I romble and whatever. I'm all over the place. You know, in case you've never guessed, yes, there is a little bit of ADD going on, which is why I tend to ramble over many different things as I'm talking, and so forth and so on. Plus, I ain't in no hurry for nothing. Except maybe to finish yapping at the camera and get this thing uploaded. And then I'm going to go and grab another shower and see how much cooling off I can get as the weather cools down from the high. It got up to about 91 today, but it didn't stay there for more than an hour or so, and it's looking to be in the, I'm hoping, high 60s again tonight. Oh, that would be nice. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here, shutting up while I can.
It's the Tinfoil Ship.